Don't nobody give a shit about you. That's real talk. All that and more coming up here on The Morning Jolt. What's up, guys? More back here with yet another video, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about whether or not anyone really gives a crap about you as a photographer. Now, the reason we're talking about this particular subject today is because I happened to stumble upon another article over on F-Stoppers this time. And on F-Stoppers, there was a photographer named Kelly Lane, and she wrote an article called Instagram. The reality is no one cares about the photographer. Essentially, the whole piece was it was talking about whether or not people really even cared about who shot a particular picture, and how a lot of these different Instagram pages, they will post and repost your work without tagging you, without giving you any sort of photo credit or anything like that. Now, I find this topic interesting because while I've never experienced much of photo stealing, maybe I have and I just haven't found other people that have hijacked my stuff, but I haven't to this point found a whole lot of people that are stealing and reposting or resharing my images on Instagram. But to be completely fair, I don't browse a whole lot on Instagram. I have a few select, people that I like to follow, a few select pages that I like to follow, and those are mainly what I stick to. So the first thing that I want to kind of focus on, I want to focus in on, is one particular paragraph here in the article, and it reads, "Photographers are constantly getting the short end of the stick. We fight for photo credit. We fight to make a decent wage. We fight to prove ourselves as professionals. We fight to explain why we are worth what we charge. Every year, a new iPhone comes out with an improved camera and is what inevitably feels like another reason someone doesn't need to pay for professional photos." So I just put out a video, just a few days ago about how the Google Pixel 3 is basically making our work, our job, more and more obsolete because of science and technology. Now, I've got some pretty good comments on that particular video, and one that I found particularly interesting was that, while technology will enable people to take better photographs overall, as far as the technical aspects, it will not help that person with lighting, composition, stuff like that. I agree, 100%. Most photographers do well at their job because not only do they understand, the basic rules of photography, but also when to capture a subject in the best light, the best clouds. You want beautiful skies with lots of detail, lots of interesting aspects to the photograph, composition, and if you happen to be shooting people, different poses, things like that. But there are a few realities that you're going to have to ultimately realize as a photographer in business this time in history, that you are not as important as you once were. I know that that is going to be a very, very tough pill to swallow. It is going to be more and more and more difficult for you to find work, for you to be effective at your job if you are only going to be good at one type of photography. There are a lot of different types of photography. You can do real estate, you can do weddings, you can do events, you could do portraits, you could do specialty stuff like kids, babies, maternity photos, pet photography, architecture photography, landscape photography. But the problem is that I have been finding is that if you pigeonhole yourself into only one category, if you do not ever explore outside of your comfort zone, the amount of work that you're going to be able to find is going to slowly diminish, one day, 1 month, 1 year at a time. Every single time there's some new camera, every single time that there's some new camera development that enables the untrained in order to do your job, in many cases, way better, way easier, with a whole lot less equipment than you, you're going to find yourself getting less and less work. And like Kelly explains here, you're going to start getting the short end of the stick, even if you try to promote yourself on, social media websites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. People are going to steal your shit. They don't care about you. They don't give a crap about how hard you had to work, how many times you had to revisit that location in order to get the perfect lighting conditions, in order to get that perfect cloud pattern up there in the sky. No one cares. They're going to steal from you. They're going to rip you off. And unlike the music industry that has billions of dollars and a whole team of lawyers. You don't. Sure, there are a lot of different ways that you can copyright your work and you can try to enforce those copyright laws on other people, but it just ultimately ends up taking more and more time away from you and what you're supposed to be doing, what you are good at, which is taking photographs. It's like, oh my God, they stole my shit again. What the hell do I do? You know what? The best choice that I've been able to find is cause a little bit of noise, cause a bit of a stir, try to bring a bit of attention to your plight, try to reason if you feel like you have the time, maybe let someone know, yo, you stole this straight up, plain and simple. You need to be giving me credit. It's honestly a good idea to just have a bunch of these predetermined responses to someone ripping you off. Just have them in like your notepad or whatever, and then just copy and paste them every single time you find them, because ultimately, if you tried to write something custom every single time you found something, you're going to find that it's eating up a lot of your time out there, trying to reply to these people, trying to reason with these people, trying to get them to understand that you worked your ass off to get that shot and you deserve the credit. You deserve at least a tag, man. Just at least at me in the description of this ripped off photograph that you stole from me. Or you could do like a lot of people have come to the conclusion that they've resigned themselves that theft and people stealing your shit is literally just going to be a part of your day-to-day life from here on out. If you work in any kind of photography business and you do a really good job, people are going to want to look at it, and a lot of these Instagram pages are lazy as shit. They don't have time to go out there and shoot their own photographs, so they're just going to go around stealing. Oh, well, we featured you. Yeah, did you? Did you feature me? But you have to be honest with yourself. The only people that care about, just like Kelly says in her article, the only people that care about, who shot it, what it was shot on, what it was shot with, where it was shot, what time of day, any of the particulars. The only ones that really care about those type of particular things or other photographers. And do you think that you're going to be getting work from other photographers? Pretty good chance you're not going to. So the entire prospect of you actually getting work from other photographers is kind of out the window. And the average person, when they're scrolling through Instagram, they're not looking to see who took it. They don't really care. They just, oh, pretty picture, swipe it up. Oh, look at there, it's another pretty picture. Don't give a shit who shot it. Swipe it up. So when that becomes your reality, when you finally realize that that is exactly the kind of reality that you're living in, God only knows how much work you've actually wasted, how much time and effort you have put into curating your gallery, putting effort into tagging it, putting effort into making sure that your name and your business is out there. You're eventually going to realize that it was all for naught. It was all for nothing. People be stealing my shit. What do I do? In my particular case, have a bunch of pre-planned out responses. Make some noise. Make a bunch of shitty comments about, yo, you stole my stuff, bro. How you just gonna steal my stuff? You want me to come on over there and kick your ass? I will stomp a mud hole directly into your rectum. Nah, don't do that. I'm just kidding. But what I am saying is cause some noise. Make a little bit of a ruckus, at least until that other Instagram page blocks you, and they will. If you try to say anything to them, if you try and call them out on their bullshit, they will in fact block you. To be perfectly honest, there is no easy answer to this problem. We have all been trying to figure it out, but with digital media, with all types of digital media, it is much harder for you to keep track of everywhere that your photograph gets ripped off, gets stolen. The one saving grace about Instagram is that most of the photographs, if you have them in very high quality on your computer and then you upload them onto Instagram, most of the time, once they get there, they're in pretty low resolution. So it's not like anyone's going to be ripping them off for like wall art and stuff like that. But at the exact same time, when people find your photographs and they're like, God, man, this is absolutely gorgeous. I wonder who shot it. I would like to license that photograph for my magazine or for my piece of wall art or whatever the case may be, is that if they want a really good, high quality version of that image, they're going to have to try and track down the person that actually shot the photograph. Now, the other great thing that you can do is basically just use social media, very low resolution images, as a way to put secondary work up there. It wasn't the best shot that you took of that day, but it was pretty damn close. And if you want to find more, come to my website where you can check out all of the higher quality resed images. I think the only way that most websites are going to eventually make it much easier for photographers in general to get the credit that they deserve, no matter what they shoot the pictures with, whether it's with their phone, whether it's with their professional rig, is to have metadata that every single photo website accepts, recognizes, and enforces. If they did that, and then there was some way for that website like Instagram to read that metadata and then automatically put it down into the description for all of us, I think that that would be the easiest solution for all of us. That way that most of these people, they can't just rip you off and then not give you any credit. Because eventually, that's pretty much going to be the only way, because if someone screenshots your photograph and then, you know, retouches or heals your logo out of the photograph, or just whatever the case may be, there's a million ways that people can steal your stuff. This is my advice to every single person out there that is trying to get their name out in front of potential clients, is to work hard, put it out there as in many places as you possibly can, only release low-resolution images, make sure that you metadata and tag everything, starting with the camera. If you can get your metadata into your photograph via the camera, that's the best. That way you don't have to do it in post. And when someone steals your stuff, make sure you cause a ruckus. Make sure that it's public. Make sure you out those people. Make sure you out those pages as much as humanly possible, because I'm telling you, they're going to steal from you. It's only a matter of time. If they haven't ripped you off yet, they're going to. So make a lot of noise, make a lot of ruckus, make sure that you out them, whether it be in social media posts, whether it be on your YouTube channel, whether it be on public forums. Just do whatever you can to make sure that people know that these mother effers is ripping people off and not giving the photographers credit. I know it's a daunting task. I know that there's going to be very little that we can do one-on-one with these people, but what we can do is make enough noise, make enough of a loud sound that maybe, just maybe, these big social media companies will finally recognize that the only reason that most of these platforms are a beautiful place to hang out in the first place is because people worked and took the time out of their lives to create these awesome, beautiful, gorgeous images. All right, boys, that's all I've got for you all today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you all have any tips for making sure that these companies and these pages do the right thing, please drop those down in the comment section below. I would love to hear any ideas that you all have, any solutions that you all have happened to find that actually work. At any rate, thanks so much for stopping here and watching yet another Morning Jolt episode here on The Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I'm going to see you guys again on the next one. Peace out.